ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another TI Testimonies. We have Levi here who's going to give his testimony. If you'd like to give your testimony, go to tichats.com/testimonies. You'll also see the rest of the YouTube channel full of TI Testimonies at youtube.com/@TI Testimonies. Go ahead and take it away, Levi. I'm just going to mute my microphone. We can't hear you. Oh man, why is this happening? Alright, I can hear you now. Let's try again. Go ahead.
The technology that I found out is being used on the whole entire globe. It has to do. It controls the whole entire electromagnetic spectrum of the globe. It's run by the sea, by the satellites, and satellites are completely invasive, where they have the whole world completely seen in a virtual reality glance, where they're actually playing a game. And with me, it's a inhumane experimentation of my sanity and my soul strength with our higher power through Jesus Christ. And amongst my soul, I'm being completely framed, like, for because I came out of a family where my father is has been targeted by the CIA before I was even like came up here, and they literally were watching me my whole entire life, manipulating everything. And then now that in 2018 they started to expose that expose it, that I can perceive that I'm being watched and I'm being induced with all this introduction of the technology back in 2018. I was hit with V2K, voice to skull, where I was induced like a hypersonic energy spot just glowing through my body, and I could telepathically control it while it would move in my body, and then they can perceive anything. Like, they control the sounds spectrum of everything. And one of the worst things that they do is they can endure many ill effects with the satellite neural weapon. They can make you throw up on remote real time. At the same time, there's cloning, as I'm speaking, of people who I've seen get completely sabotaged, and as I'm talking to you, I can perceive it in the back of my mind how they're trying to change my normal, like, they're like, they're
You
on me right
mean
now,
the heterodyne
dominate.
or EEG cloning?
Yeah, the EEG clone, I can feel them mispercepting me a little bit by other people who whistleblow. And basically, one of the horrible things is they control your whole skeletal anatomy with this, like, it just broadcast processes your bones. It encaves in. They can literally close your inside. They can close your airways. They can close it on remote control with the satellites. Your airways just close and you can't breathe. And they can kill it. They can kill you like that. And they get, like, last night they had me on the whole night complete. I was literally getting punched and punched, like beat with electromagnetic punches in the head, while I couldn't sleep, while I lose hope in calling for the state troopers to proceed, because I already got three reports on this, and the FOIA requests haven't been processed correctly. It might take a couple more weeks, or it might just be like they never really cared. But I need a sense of my reports. I'm trying to be a participant to the whole movement, like, of maybe working out of a plan of just making music, but I can't even make soul property music because my brain intellectual property is being remotely stolen by the satellites that are collecting all sorts of emotions and energy and ways to make music that I don't need a simple layout of my music. I actually perform it. I hustle a beat, for real. I perform it and I record it timely and everything. And these people invade it, and they increase, and, like, say I know about a thing or two about the program, like I'm claiming, which is all true facts. But the thing is, if I vibe out in my music studio with my with my creation, they'll start to detain that train of thought and start to induce electromagnetic assaults to interfere with my flow, So they'll put microwave torture. They'll cave in my neck, my bones. They'll suck my nasal air. I can't breathe, and therefore I can't even continue to produce music. And that's just the beginning, because that will hack every aspect of my recording. They will steal. They will corrupt. They will freeze my computer. They even destroyed the screen on my computer one time on two separate occasions. They've damaged my laptop. So they've done years of messing up my creations and my work, my art, and they deal a lot with spinal manipulation, electromagnetic spinal manipulation, where they can really manipulate every disc and deform the structure of an upright position while causing suffocation, suffering, induce ultimately ill feeling over your natural frequencies, because they're manipulating your bones. So advanced technology is being used to cave in your body from expanding and breathing. And yes, they like to deprive you of your chakras, and they're mellowing it out a little bit, but then they get bad. I have to think about going to the doctor and saying, "This is how I found out that they're doing me so dirty." They can even manipulate my jaws. Like it looks straight right now, but honest to God, this is what straight is. This is what straight is. This is what straight is. My neck needs to be like this for some reason, and then I gotta work it up. Like, and then it cracks. Like that's how much manipulation I'm under right now, and you can't even tell because there's no entry wound or no exit wound. It just completely
I have
grabs
to
the
ask,
space around.
have you
It,
have you seen a doctor? Have they noticed what they did to you in the doctors, or are they seeing nothing when you go there?
all they can, well, they have I haven't been up I haven't updated my report with them. It's like knowing how much I know about the manipulation. I didn't know too much about it, but now I know that the satellites really are the 100% blame to why my neck is being mashed down. The back, the whole neck brain stem is being compressed and
Have
very
you gotten
severely
an
bulged.
X-ray for the
and
damage?
and the aspect of my neck from being upright is completely like tilted, like I can't look. This is how look at how my neck is, and you can't even tell.
Oh yeah, here.
This is my neck. My neck is upward. Look how my neck is upward,
Um,
and the jaw is tilted, like a little bit deformed, and you can't really tell because they're fucking with my energy field. They're fucking with the airflow, the flow of my air that produces normal energy that can just bypass all their V2K and all their mind control. So they have to deem to necessary to completely deform the back of my neck, and I can't even breathe. And it gets pretty downright aggressive where I have to get sabotaged, bug out my bed and try to shake some kind of serenity where they can literally compress it so tight and I can just die just like that. Like we're all under this manipulation that they can really just cause an epiglottis episode to close and open and you can't breathe through your neck. That's just one of the ways. But they really control your bones. They control your whole spinal anatomy, and they can crush it. They can like bulge it, inflate a bulging effect, and produce more pain. They can totally flatten. Feel like somebody put a massive hammer jam and dented your bone, and then they can fix it, and then they can put it back down to deform. And they like to do a lot of bending. Like say my spine is supposed to be straight, they will bend my spine a little bit like this on the low and then I can't even. How can you stand up straight? How can your neck stand up straight when your spine is being bent like this? How can you have a standing? So they do a lot of that, man. Other than that, I'd be healthy.
yeah.
I'm a little bit flattened out. Like this technology is changing the shape of my skull, the bone. Neuroscience. It changes the shape of your bones. It changes the shape of the bones. They can change it, and they're doing it back here with some kind of electromagnetic spasm activity, where you can't really tell. It's hard to tell, man. But there seriously is a deform of a twist, a torsion in the back of a muscle, and even the muscle and the bone, but you can't really tell. But it's invading my airway. this right here is invading my airway. I can't really breathe right now. And they love to do that to make me look like I'm under satanic abuse, but it's all CIA who's doing it, man.
Have
And
you
the
gotten
CIA,
the
we're exposing the CIA for indecent human torture, and using advanced satellite weapons where they can crush a bone, torsion a spinal alignment, and even closing airway in your nose. All true facts. They can make my hair fall and lose volume and strength. All by just don't even need to feel it. It just start falling. You feel it. It just falls and falls.
um,
And they made me get a little bit of some kind of white hairs and stuff. But I don't know, man. They've done a lot. They can inflate your glands and make you fat by remote.
had any
They can
experience with
they
the gang
control
stalking?
they control they control your bowels. That's another thing that the satellite does. It controls your bowels.
Yeah,
So your sleep pattern, your sleep brain pattern activity. Me, I don't fall asleep without them. I have to have the satellite put me to sleep, and I put like a 10 o'clock sleep. At 10 o'clock I usually just lay out because by 9:30 it's the severe the microwave has gone too far and beyond. I'm like, fuck, man. These people need to be exposed. They need to end the torture program, invasion of privacy, invasion of my health, and it wake me up like around 4 o'clock in the morning, and they gotten so bad where the microwave torture is really just bad, man. Microwave saying I'm gonna get cancer, and that I'm such a soul source for them, for the Illuminatis and all these CIA claiming that they're elites, and they want to claim everything that everything was given by them. And if you have a soul idea, they want to steal it from you, probably brain traffic you, and sell it for monetary profits. They claim that they're doing this for money. What do you think?
I think it's more than just money.
I'll add to that. It's money. It's they want to play God, and put on that side tip. They're not following Jesus. They're actually found out that they're raping women with this satellite technology. They're raping children with this satellite technology for facts. Women they make little girls smell the scent of EMF sperm, and the mother has to make a documentary over it, revealing the satellite being raped
Yeah,
and
there's a
how
lot
it's
of things about it.
smashing
Yeah.
in their lungs, and how they're suffocating by remote torture, manipulation of our bodies, and our organs are being harassed and menaced with the satellite that can suffocate you, crush you, alter and deform your alignment, and basically even the marrow of your bones can be just completely taken over and manipulated like a piece of clay gets just completely just manipulated.
Um, have you had any experience with the gang stalking, the voice of God, anything like that? I get a lot of TIs that experience those things. I know about the trafficking. There's been a lot of female targets that have come on talking about dream manipulation and forced stimulation and forced thoughts and feelings and stuff. Do you have anything like that? Any?
Yeah, voice to skull. They've used that as the voice of God, but it's not a God. They want to play God, like I told you. They want to play God with this technology, and that's why they call it the voice of God, the ultimate weapon, where they can control everyone under their hive mind. The CIA has a terminology called the hive mind, where everyone's subconscious neural activity is intertwined and intertwined to connect with their satellite super that travels information at faster than the speed of light, and so everyone's connected. And this is how they do broadcast. This is how they do mass mind control on the whole entire world through their subconscious mind. So ultimately, you and I are aware of the technology. You and I are aware of the evil influences that they perceive through this technology, through their programs, and how we already discussed how they already sexually assault children and women with this weapon. And there's also downright with the sex trafficking agenda that they do, human trafficking in the whole world, while a target like me is being falsely targeted for saying I'm a bad person, but actually they done experimentation of my life, and my whole family is actually dumbed out by the technology, bro. My mother, my father decisions are ultimately 100% manhandled by the CIA satellites right now, and I gotta fight. I gotta fight against them. Set me up by them having like a sort of misperception of my serenity, my sanity, and basically while I'm fighting the evil influences that these people from the CIA have against my family, I have to get microwaved. This my spine gets dislocated in real time, my neck all the time, where I can't just flow their with their stupid hustle manipulations, and I can't just breathe it out. So they have to hold in my airway. So I feel like damn their influences and their mind control. I can't even. Oh, like I'm so stupid. I can't even breathe. Like they'll force it out of a EMF manipulation of my body and my organs to induce like their trauma induced mind control has affected me, but it has in a way because they are very deadly. They are very deadly. Um, their tortures are downright condensely evil. They'll start a hate campaign overnight, and they'll start to V2K you with a bunch of hate. With a they'll start to see a bunch of little mistakes that you did in the past, and they'll probably emphasize it like 1,000 times greater than it actually is, and they'll justify, like they'll play good moral trick on you when you're already discovered and unclosed from other TIs that these same people are raping children and women. So what sense of good morality or respect do they deserve? Probably nothing. They're just trying to deceive. They're deceiving us. They're what they do is we're the victims, and they're using their mind control to reverse psychology the whole thing while making it seems justable why they experimented on us so inhumanely. Some lives have already been taken just for the sake of their use of to this technologies and evil purposes. And I'm just trying to expose it, just like you.
Yeah. They definitely play the good cops and you're the villain, and they reverse profile and role play, or sorry, role reversal, and then try to make everybody else think that who's in the know about it, that whatever lies they say about you is the reason why they've been doing it. But chances are,
and
they
and
just
yeah,
wrongly
and
think that.
they like to play they like to play like the super intelligence. Like they'll dumb out strong character people. They'll dumb them out with some mind control invasion, and they'll completely dumb out that person, brainwash the person, and that's probably that's what the technology is. One of the uses of this technology. They'll hit you with induce massive dizziness attack just by just a manhandle of a frequency it possesses in your brain. They'll completely just if you had a bad thought that these people get envious or offended of, they'll attack. They'll just completely target your brain, cause a vicious movement of dizziness, and you're like, all right, dude, just chill already, damn. And they'll stop, but they can do that forever and kill you like just on the spot. That's how deadly they are with this weapon.
Yeah,
They can cause a heart attack. They can cook you. They can bend your. This bone can be bent and deformed. They play with my nose. They cause it to feel like it can be hijacked. Like the sides of my nose, these things right here, they can be EMF. They can be emphasized and puffed up and make me look like I have a fat nose. They can raise these. They can raise with this technology that's like I told you before. The back of the bone, the marrow can be altered. They do they do changes of that stuff, and they can induce a immediate toothache. They'll start to target your tooth and like a certain tooth, and they'll be like, oh, I have a toothache for some reason, and believe like it's your tooth, but they're inducing it with the satellite.
yeah.
Every soccer game, every football game, every sports game is massively controlled superiorly on every touchdown, every goal is massively can be dominated through a satellite CIA.
Oh,
So I even my cat. I used to think there's a sense of good natural ways of my cat, how I perceive my cat. But damn it, man, they went far and beyond with this satellite mind control. They already took the cat's subconscious mind, So my cat's being used as a tool for them to perceive me while I undergo hellish torture. My cat gets probably trickled down here and there, but it's not getting assaulted like me. But they dumb out the cat. They've the character defamed my cat through voice to skull. I've heard some bad things about them assaulting wildlife too, man. And they wanna hit us with direct energy weapons. They wanna hit us with drones at night that will trickle a sense of a movement, of a sway, of a jagger, of a sway when you're looking at it like it's making it obvious that it's watching us. And they have a connection with the CIA that are targeting us right now. Like the drones, they have a connection with it, and they come out far and beyond as to having these drones changed to airplanes and from airplanes to drones. And Robert Duncan exposes that those are being caused by the satellite direct energy weapons.
Yeah, Robert Duncan definitely exposed a lot of it.
It would be it would be great if one day a responsible agent from the government, whoever can handle this responsibly, see it, that it's been so already exposed that they can end the experimentation aspect, because I think they've done enough experimentation for this weapon already. They already have the ultimate weapon. There is no more. I sometimes think like I'm the ultimate source that they brain trafficked and they hustled my brain for so much good senses and spirituality that I probably think I'm like the last source on this earth that can say that, without making a buck for it. Because they don't want, they seriously don't want me to make money.
Yeah,
They don't want me to make money. They don't want me to have a career that was family funded. Like they'll trickle my desires and my spirits. Like they're seeing it, they're capturing it, they're recording, they're collecting that intelligence aspect of it, while they're trying to dumb me out like I can't do anything, while I got issues, while they're saying I got schizophrenia. Like I don't know about their psychiatric how you say, they're making me stutter like a dummy.
like kind of
Like
thing.
psychiatric fraud, medical abuse, satanic ritual abuse, gaslighting,
Yeah,
and
they
then it
want to
falls under
manipulate it.
neglect. It all is falling under neglect of FBI. I have evidence, bro. I have recordings where I called the FBI, really on my last resort type of thing, and they flout out neglect helping. Like you're supposed to investigate. They don't investigate. They ultimately what they said is, "Thank you for exposing it. Thank you for will something like that," and they won't even feed you back a response of like what to do. They'll just hang up.
Yeah, well,
Like
the
I have
people
video, I have
above the
audio, I have
FBI.
audios, I have audios of that where they neglect helping. Otherwise, I wouldn't be still on the look for help. The FBI does not help to this day. They don't help.
Yeah, they can get targeted
So
too.
yeah, the CIA. I try to contact them directly. Because I'm on. We're all the whole country is under remote neural monitoring tracking. So our every single body has pretty much a digital clone, where the supercomputers have collected a digital computer clone. So basically, with all that, um, they have capacities to trickle my train of thought to and get me wiped off on my train of thought a lot. They'll do that while erasing our evidence, hacking our devices, man. And why do they do that so inhumanely on targets like me? And they have so much hate on my past, saying, "Oh, that even in my relationship stake, where I've had different partners, they sophisticatedly obsessed that they can manhandle their human life, traffic their humans' perceptive, invade their privacy, probably sexually assault them every night just for the sake that they're getting my energy of everything, while the next day I wake up with faulty smells out of nowhere. Like they can make you perceive a scent, a smell so real that you think it's actually in the environment, but it's a satellite in frequency. It's an electromagnetic scalar effect where it's perceiving our brain to feel that same. They can make you smell things. I don't know if they've done that with you, but they can make you smell things.
Yeah, I know what they can do. I can do
They can make you they can make you smell things, and some of them are probably they've done marijuana scents, they've done armpits. They do that on my mother. I taken a shower completely, thoroughly, get dressed, come out, and they'll induce my mother to smell that I smell like faulty armpits. And dude, I already know by heart that these people make you perceive a scent already. They can get you in trouble saying that back in the days, they can falsely say, "Oh, you." They can make an officer say, "Oh, you smell like alcohol," or they can say, "Have you been smoking?" And they can put an investigative back then. But now they do tests, right? Like they do tests, but they can they can get, like, frame you,
it. Yeah,
say, "Oh, you smell like weed," or say that when you don't even have that property in you right now, like um. They can program your whole court. Like, how many people have taken this? How many target individuals have taken this to court? And what does the judge say ultimately? That it lacks evidence. That it doesn't pertain. Why don't you say? Why don't you say? Perceive it like, say, why isn't the judge a victim? Just like it's been declared that even state troopers, even police officers, are being victims of this satellite mind control, where the CIA is utterly corrupting the whole system for their property and evil, corrupt ways.
yeah. Well,
I've lost hope in the president. He was announcing it a couple of times. He was announcing it that he's going to end the torture satellite program, the weaponization. But then he gets completely brainwashed by Elon Musk stepping into the plate and acting like the artificial intelligence and the whole thing is gonna be a movement, and basically they backed him off on the standpoint of serving justice against it. Maybe we can you and I can help by exposing this aspect through this video and get somebody who can take some responsibility within Trump's sake of a presidential aspect, and say, you know what, this is inhumane. We are a government that has constitutional rights, human rights. Our children are exposed to sick, corruptive mind control programs where they're victims of, without their where know about about the satellite existing. So children get framed. Children are being seen. Children are being human trafficked. Children are being, these CIAs are pedophiles, bro, and they'll completely devour children, even kill the children, even sacrifice the children. They love to sacrifice people, and somebody needs to back the fire off of them because that's horrible. I think they've done enough for them to change, but they're not. They play above the president on a government political standpoint, and they claim to be devil worshippers, as you know, satanic influences. As I've seen you speak about it. Um, That's it, man. How do you plan on getting some kind of justice, eh, just by exposing it? The torture, the satellite. Richard Lighthouse. Do you know Richard Lighthouse?
I've heard of them.
Richard Lighthouse. He exposes it, that the scalar waves are being tracked for everybody to be seen, and he's taken this to court. He's shown the congressman. The congressmen have responded to his pictures of evidence. Ultimately, that they're too mind controlled, or they're too scared to mess with the CIA. So, how deep are we in this documentary to explore to get a sense of help, when Richard Lighthouse has already been in the government? He's spoken to congressmen on his weight of his testimony and the advocacy of this testimony of a targeted individual trying to get help. And we already have evidence that he's come down to the conclusion that the congressmen don't want to defend us against the CIA.
Yeah,
So with that
Congress needs to
evidence,
do too.
what do you think we should do?
Well, what we have to do
There's a
is not
there's
rely
a
on the
sense there's a
Congress
sense there's
anymore.
there's a sense there's a sense of awareness where it's being exposed more and more as time progresses. Is being exposed more and more. And at the same time, we're dealing with these idiots who the CIA characterize and act upon. They're trying to say that they worship Satan, and they go about it so inhumanely on my behalf. And what do you think we should do about it?
Well, uh, there's things that have been exposed outright, for years. I mean, they're still putting fluoride in the water, and they got away with the vaccines or the virus and all this other stuff. So it's really not a matter of just evidence and proven things, because there's plenty of things that have been proven that are still ongoing to this day. But you don't want to rely on Congress. You don't want to rely on the upper echelons of the government to you know, do anything about this stuff. What you really want to rely on is, the fellow victims and, just the regular everyday people that, eventually will back up the victims, and kind of speak out until it gets on the news. And then it's like, there's experts that have said this is, they thought it was crazy and now they realize it's not crazy. And, individuals tend to sound crazy no matter what they say, even if it's true. But, when the people look at how many people are saying the same things, then that's when, their perceptions and their beliefs start to shift a little bit. And that's really what we rely on, because in the end, it's really the people in the majority that are going to be able to demand change and demand something to take place. And, you know, like I said, there's things that people already know are going on that's wrong, that they've been demanding change and it still hasn't happened yet. But, something of this level of atrocity, egregiousness, and heinousness, people are not going to stand for this. And then right now, they just believe that it's not real in the majority. And when people, accept that it is real and, see past the things that sound crazy and, understand that some people do imagine things or it's all in their head, and then and just even if those people do that, it doesn't mean that they're not experiencing real things, and it doesn't mean that other people are not experiencing those same things. So there's some things that are a little exaggerated, but I've noticed that most things are not. So just because somebody may sound crazy saying certain things doesn't mean that people should not listen to them and investigate and hear what other people have said about those same things. But in a nutshell, it's the people, man. It's the people that are going to have to say, you know, we have a responsibility to help these people out. We could be next, and if we
You
don't, we're gonna be.
do you think there's a there's a thing called Havana syndrome, right?
Yep, that's like government
Have you,
stuff. They're doing it to the CIA agents, FBI,
yeah, the CIA are
administration.
the ones. The CIA are the ones doing it though. They're they. I've discovered that they are the ones doing it, and they're also providing a little sense of assistance for the general public to think it's not them when they totally they totally covered up with the Havana Cuban aspect of it, trying to blame it on Cuba, but it's the CIA doing it, bro. That's why it's still that's why it still got handled as a unreally fully resolved case because they tricked the whole world.
Well, yeah,
It's the
they're always
CIA.
doing that. It's Russia, it's China, it's Cuba, it's these terrorists over there, it's these criminals over here, it's this one guy Epstein, it's just Diddy. You know what I mean? We've all seen that before. I mean, the people are waking up to that crap. But it's a matter of, we got Ted Gunderson. Ted Gunderson was FBI 20 years, the director in Los Angeles. And he was doing COINTELPRO. He started the counterintelligence program, which, by the way, is still going today. And he came forward, he blew the whistle, and ever since he came forward, he's passed away now, but his last moments of his life, he spent literally telling people, I'm getting gang stalked by the same people that I trained to do this stuff, the same people I employed, or, the same counterintelligence program that I ran is now running against me, torturing me, threatening me, breaking into my house, making, threats on my life,
Oh,
attempts on my life.
yeah,
Satanic
they've come
prison, Illuminati, child trafficking, sex trafficking. He said it all. He said those things before.
they've come to my house and they've stolen a soul property cassette tape of some kind of like they make an importance of it like everything that I have original in a music standpoint They want to completely overdub it with AI taking over the whole algorithms. Uh, if it had a source of motivatable energy feel to it, they will electromagnetic use their advanced satellites to completely change the spectrum of the sound, the impact, the dynamic for your perception. All the music on YouTube is pretty much AI induced, highly AI induced for programming you in mind control, hive mind.
I've never heard about any of
Some
that.
some of some of these videos, some of these music videos, like Vivo and all these MK Ultra celebrities, their music videos are complete brain mind control programming on their influences, but they're all under satellite programming when they're making videos. And when you watch it on YouTube, when you watch them on YouTube, there's an AI generated CIA tool that they use in the dark secret aspect, where they can change and they can use the voice that you're hearing from the person, and they can pretty much hijack the whole system, and they'll send a message with their soul voice and interaction through a YouTube video. So it's AI generated. They're using AI technology to do that, of cloning and just
Did you
taking over.
did you see that playlist that had over 600 songs from different artists? All the songs titles were "Voices in My Head," "Demons in My Head."
Yes, yes, and I found out that the real Slim Shady, it was actually highly used by the CIA as a torture song, subliminal induced song.
Yeah, you see Lil Uzi Vert, he was on stage saying, "Oh, it's too late for y'all. You've been listening to my music. You're all going to hell. I sold my soul, and now you're here, and it's too late for you." And he got all the fans pissed off. He was like dead serious. He's like, "Yeah,
Yeah, bro,
Lil Lucifer
and
and all that."
I can I can feel them erasing my thoughts right now as I speak. I can feel them like what I just said like 30 seconds ago. I don't remember it anymore. They're really trying to like quiet me up. I don't want me to say things, you know. And I get it's not too good, but it's very inhumane. They literally get vicious on my brain, bro, and they literally start to really cognitively impair me by a satellite harassment assault program where my brain can't even have a train of thought freely because they'll induce a clamp of really torture. And right, they took it off. I don't have it right now, but if they wanted to, if I get musically inclined to my spirit through my universal response of my music, they literally they don't let me work that spirit up. They start to sabotage my brain where I can't even think, where I'm disabled and I can't even produce a song. And I have to be laying in bed, like you called me right in the nick of time. I'm laying in bed, was getting heavily microwaved. This spot of my chest cavity was completely sunken, and I could put my hand here for the sake of the pain, and I could feel a little leverage of a motorized movement just holding the bone and changing the marrow. And I was literally just giving up, like I can't even do anything. Like, and then you called me, and I got a little sense of of relief from them. But I can hang up this phone, and then they'll induce a microwave where I have to lay down, like, damn, I'm gonna get killed, type of thing, and I can't even make music. I have a burning sensation in my mouth, microwave sensation right now, and they do that every day. I've made videos about these testimonies back since 2020, and they're everyone had these dudes have a dominant possession of a brain location where the spots of our brain that dominate our body, they can put a broadcast, electromagnetic broadcast, on the area that your brain is controlling, and they can literally butt in that area with their electromagnetic broadcast and literally just take over, and you're just a torture subject that's being forced like to do this or give a by them. Like they can really dominate so invasively with this mind control. They've done projects on bulls, wild animals in the earlier stages of this mind control weaponization, and they can literally cause people to get into fights, especially if you're unaware of the technology. They can frame people as as easy as 1 to 3, get them into fights and altercations, even by knowing their what triggers their emotions. They because we're all under a satellite that already has digitally cloned. Like they have put your perceptive voice in the maybe a year or two for a test of your perception in the past. I can pick up on that. They're doing one of a girl who's completely trafficked by a bunch of just drug addict induced ladies who just have a they do a bunch of they've done Robert Duncan through another TI from Canada where completely speaking like if it was Robert Duncan reincarnated in her body like a Chucky, but she has no awareness of it, but I do. So they do cloning on people just for the fact of manipulation and control, obsessed mind control that they want to control everything. And basically, I am not doing anything wrong in my life, but they want to frame me like just the fact that I make music on my own. That it serves some kind of money making
Yeah, I was going to ask
skills.
you about
And
that. Were would you consider yourself a successful musical artist that, would be a threat to them, like a truther artist kind of person?
I feel like they've gained my energy and my spirit and my life to be human trafficked with satellite technology. And let alone, I'm going to emphasize the word human trafficked because they literally trafficked me through my neurological aspect for my career, my musical. My intellectual property has been sold for celebrities in the past years. And basically, I've had to step off from that belief system because I said these people are trafficking my musical career while the CIA is using in isolation a control where they're basically dominating my career, my career spectrum from being broadcasted while I perform sole property in my studio, my house. Only people seeing is the CIA. Only people stealing my train of thoughts, the CIA. Except when I go perform, they'll disable me with a muscle bone locking sensation where I can't even move. Sometimes I can't even turn to my head because I'm under a lock. The satellite's blocking my bones up, and basically, they don't want me to be the exponent. So right now I can say they're not letting me progress for for my own sake. I don't even feel safe.
Yeah. I had a question for you. I was trying to think of what the question was. It was pertaining to that.
And as I speak, the back of my neck is being torsioned like in a turn like a clockwise and a clockwise position where I can't even breathe. Like, look, that's not normal. That's not a normal stamp where I have to fix it. Look at all of that stuff right there is manipulated to be a little bit dumbed down and suffocated. It's very invasive. It's very powerful, advanced technology that just grabs the space spectrum of everything. They can just magically possess your bones and your body and push you down, cave you down like this by remote manipulation. And they do that all the time to me. They did it before you called me, where my head was like this, push down into the side or to this side, push down, and and I can't breathe. The satellite weapon can do that to death. They can strangle you with so much severe manipulation, um, literally deform your spine, and maybe it's so horrible. What say they leave it there? You're completely gone. Like there's gonna be torture, pain forever. But they do these deformities, and then they let you get like a. Eventually, they let you work your way as to cracking it back open and releasing the very severe bulged out to the maximum for your pain's sake by a satellite. They let you flex your way back up, but then at the same time, I still ain't breathing right. This whole side is. Did you see that? It's all caved in. This is not a natural neck. that's a manipulation. That's a choke. That's a this is there's a choke right now on my neck, and you can't even tell. And I still gotta make this video and flow accordingly, like it's not deems to be exposed, like it's a problem. There's a choke right here where there's a broadcast that I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
I got two questions for you. One question is, have you ever experienced any kind of demonic activity, waking up feeling like you can't move, any kind of, seen any kind of demons or shadow creatures or anything like that? Felt the presence of them or anything like that?
Yes, 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 yes. I'll input some insight on that. Like I told you before, I've been satellite human traffic without my awareness since I was a kid, and I felt brain frequency, brainwave invasion as a kid of some kind of demented influence of a radio frequency. And basically, what was your question again? You have to put me back on my train of thought.
Uh, Demonic activity.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Things
so
moving
speaking on that, we have
around, extreme
they
fear,
have
dread.
they do especially they like to do that. They like to do that especially when you're in bed and like trying to go to sleep. They've done things where I've been held up so much, like held up on a, like I'm expecting to go to sleep. I've done it where I get held up that my brain starts to get into this psyched out some kind of spirit is coming to my house and it's gonna you know, and like a sleep paralysis type of feeling. At the same time, they psych your brain out like there's an evil spirit approaching you. They'll psych you out so badly with mind control, bro. They'll psych you out, making you think that there's a ghost present, like there's a demon present. They'll put a low elf wave in your hearing sensation, and they'll make you feel like something is coming, but it's all just it's just a transmission of a signal to trick with your brain to thinking there's a ghost. Yes, they've done complete mass environmental manipulation, systematic manipulation, where it feels like everything's under devil's frequency. Like you feel like the leaves, the trees are like I don't know, man, but they do it all the time. As we speak, they do an invasion of there's like how do you describe? But just think of faces
Perception. Yeah, I was
everywhere,
thinking that in my head. The face.
faces being projected through
Recorded.
through everything on Earth.
Yeah.
There's a grammar a word for that. I've looked it up where they use technology to so where you perceive that there's a humble little face coming out of their evil mind control, and they usually like to do the I'll give you that I'll give you that. They'll make you perceive like something you see on a tree will be like I'll give you that. Like they like to do that on me. The I'll give you that type of thing. Um, like somebody they like to fuck with. Uh, every every time I got trafficked, they try to put me in the program. I was very focused on my music studio. I stayed in my program, and then they indulge a program where they're using their psychic abilities to human traffic my property of my brain and my soul and my energy. Um,
Can I ask you the other question? I don't want to forget it. The other one was, have you had one, dream manipulation, and two, more specifically, have they ever approached you in your dreams with some kind of contract, trying to make you make a deal with them? Maybe wearing red or having a light shining down or anything like that. Just trying to make you make a deal in your dreams. Because a lot of these
well,
celebrities, they say that it happened in their sleep.
yeah. Well, yeah, they do a gangster influence on me a lot. Um, they do a gangster influence on me. Like they use AI voices, synthesized voices, tuned to sound like a OG. and that's pretty much just to relate to what you're saying. And they like to use the word hustle a lot. They even told me forget the hustlers. Like they like to traffic hustlers for their sole potential with this technology. And yeah, that's me touching base on that.
So no kind of like approaching you in your dreams, controlling your dreams, chasing you around, torturing you in your sleep, anything like that?
They can completely make you have a good terminology by force manipulation and mind control. They can trick you to feel like the devil talk to you. They can have a lot of important people downfall on the fact that they thought they talked to the devil when it was all satellites. Um, they I go to sleep, and then when I'm laying down, they literally take over my brain like complete like they didn't have this before. They literally can get to the point where they'll have you completely in a induced forced dream state of, and they're forcing you some kind of real violent, traumatic, ghostly, invasive, like some kind of evil just overtaking your brain. Why? Because they're trying to traumatize you. They're trying to traumatize you at the same time.
Yeah.
I've been sleeping, and they've done complete like I have my eyes closed, but my brain is it's running in a mode where I'm actually feeling like I'm going over my phone and just scrolling while I'm trying to sleep. There's a motion in my brain where I'm just scrolling. Like, hello, who's doing this? Who's operating my brain waves to have me perceiving this? Like they be doing that type of shit to me.
Wow.
I can close my eyes and they can make you see things. They can inject images in your train of thought. They like to do a lot of obsessed sexual perverted like women giving oral. It- like instantly I'm sleeping in my own sanity and I see the perverted mind control corruption where they'll do images flashing like that. And they like to mess with invasion of children. They'll have you so fucking fed up that they'll control a child nearby to butt in another a normal like you and me are having a video call, and they'll use a child nearby. You'll knowingly know that poor child is superly mind control on her unawareness to come up to say something subliminally, like a subliminal sounds like he's saying something this, but he's saying something else on the behalf, and they'll make them scream. They'll make them happy. They'll do some like 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 pedophilia induced mind control on people too, where I have to actually feel myself. I'm not safe because I'm over here just trying to live my life, and they'll have to resort to disabling my bone, my disabling my airways. So that I have to be forced to feel like I have to retaliate in some kind of rude and negative ways. They've done sabotaging me, embarrassing me, uh, isolating me, where I have had a little bit of a bad edge to it, because that's what they want. They want you to be. They want you to commit suicide. They want you to be homeless. At the same time, you think they're trying to give you a shot? I don't know, but not with me. It's actually been a false trick where they think they're gonna give me a sense of a career when I already made it on my own, on my originality, and basically they just human trafficked me while others made a million, and I was being tortured, going sent to the hospitals and experimented on the staff's unawareness. And I even have been put with medicine, antipsychotic medicine, where I was being forced an injection every month that made me get fat and that made me like just sick. And thankfully, now I just resort to just playing my ordinary life, but I can't make music. They can have me really all day stuck on like I'm trying to pop this back open and I can't do anything. I can't even think. So that's pretty much it. Um, I wish they somebody acknowledges the fact that why they have to sabotage me. They won't let go of a lock that hurts like a severe like there's a lock in the back of my neck that's forcing me to squeeze all of this out. And now I'm okay. I'm a little bit better now. But as I was talking to you, you'll see me going like this. You'll see me getting in. You'll see me like encaving and looking weird. It's because they like to push down my neck a lot on the everyday regular basis. Um, they can prevent you from sleeping. They literally, if you have if you sleep on this side, they'll tighten this. They'll tighten this so bad you can't even enjoy the rest sensation of this side because you're completely being strangled from the right side, and like they're doing it. They're doing it right now. I have video evidence how they pulsate your body, how they invasively mash and compress and muscle knot, and really cause a lot of spasms, like very, very severe, aggressive, invasive, massive, chaotic spasms where they're really just attacking you with this neural weapon, and you can't have a defense to it. You can't block it. I've tried copper fabrics. I tried Faraday cages. I tried EMF beanies. I tried the latest and the most silent night product where they said they can help the electric field with this antenna thing, and I ended up returning it because it doesn't work. This thing doesn't only just hack the brain and the body; it hacks the clouds. It hacks the house. It can cause a tap. They've done experiments where you're just roaming in your house and they can make it feel like the whole SWAT team just busted into your door and just cause they can have a weapon or two and they can blow you up. And then when you look, there was nobody there. It was just a satellite mind control induction where they're probably doing some sophisticated high end advanced experimentation where you can just acknowledge the effort that they did. But it's so advanced that you don't even know if it was just your brain perceiving all those thumps from a microwave auditory effect, or it was really some kind of thumping and thumping on my walls. But they've also manipulated a door lock that was sticking out to actually turn on remote satellite, and it unlocked. So that's how they break in. They can break in the doors with advanced satellites that can tap the lock system and unlock it, and they can get right through.
Wow, that's insane, man.
It tampers with your heaters, your AC coolers, your heaters in your house. They can turn it on, they can activate it, they can emphasize it, they can increase the intensity of the heat. Uh, they can turn on your TVs. They hack your computer, all your music completely stolen, hacked. It's like all these tools were given to you for your personal usage, but then if the government gave a criminal aspect of it, they can and hijack everything in your information, your data, all the way down from your electronics to your neural network. And people like you and me trying to build a foundation of exploring a way to expose this. You think they're not you I don't even have to question it. Believe me, they are on top of your brain, they're on top of our brain on a subconscious level, practically consenting for us to talk about it for some reason.
Yeah. Well, they want us to sound insane. That's for sure.
Plus, I can assure you right now, they can suffocate me. They can give me a heart attack on remote time right now and have no more words coming out of my mouth if they wanted to.
Yeah.
This is how invasive the satellite is, dude.
Have you ever gone to a doctor and got like some kind of MRI or X-ray or anything like that for them to see what kind of damage was done to you?
Not yet, man. But I've been thinking of looking into how to diagnose Havana syndrome through the general public medical field.
You should definitely go and get an X-ray and an MRI or something so they can see like what's going on in there, like what damage was done to you, and see if there's any like evidence of like
Uh,
microwaves,
a
anything
def-
like that,
uh,
radiation or something like that. That would be,
deformity, deformity, caving in the joints, the muscles, deformity of the bone structure from having a proper stand, inducing pain, suffocating the airways. Like all of that has to be diagnosed from a uh, responsible doctor that's willing to acknowledge it. Besides, without them taking a mind control frequency to be like, are you medically psychologically declined? We have to take consideration of that before we like. we progress in acknowledging that this satellite is actually hurting you.
Oh, I wouldn't
Say they don't
mention that.
say they don't just participate through a mind control program that they don't pertain the responsibility to acknowledge that this is doing this instead of a natural way. But now we have evidence from Facebook where people are protesting, exposing the programs, how it's an invasion of our constitutional and health. Um, so basically, I have an awareness to express, to tell everything how this is happening, and if I try to get a medical evidence, I don't know, man. I'm trying to work on that right now
Well, when you go to the doctor, you should not mention anything. You should just say what you're feeling, you know, the symptoms, but don't mention anything about what you've been saying. Just because they might cycle.
just look at this neck, man. The neck is right here. The neck is right here. I feel it like I'm straight up. But look at my nose. Look how it's not upward with my neck. Look how it's tilted facing up.
Yeah,
And there's it should be like this with a long neck, but it's not being projected like that because there's a manipulation where I'm suffocated and my chakra of good energy flow where I can just roll and be a high frequency and say I'm happy, man. They don't have they don't they close it in, man, and they torture me like a sick, incapacitated person by force manipulation.
yeah,
So I want the program to end. I don't want them to be. Look at how my neck is being tilted.
yeah.
It's being tilted. My neck's being tilted where I can't even get a proper grip of my neck stem.
If
It
you,
looks sophisticatedly straight, but on the back, on the real deal, it's caved into one side where I can't even breathe on one side.
my best advice is go to an ER and just don't mention anything about targeting, and maybe they can give you some kind of brace or some kind of medication that's not psychiatric medication, just to kind of alleviate whatever pain is coming from it, or you know, maybe a muscle relaxer or something like that. I mean, they're not going to stop it, but you know, they might be able to give you something to feel better about it, and you know, maybe give you a brace or something to keep it straight. And you know, I just wouldn't mention targeting, bro, because if you mention that, they're going to probably psych ward you, just because that's what they do to people.
So how far can we get out of the defense system for this then?
I don't know anything about that. I I wish I did. You're gonna have to probably have to talk to some like ex-military or some people that, you know, Department of Defense, you know,
Because
people like that.
yes, you can go to the doctor. You can get a picture of how it's currently deformed, and little do you know, in real time they can devour the strength of your bone and deform it, put it back, or misalign it in a different way. Maybe make it more severely torn and torsion and decapitated the bone. You know how evident, how permanent is the evidence, but it's at least it's something. At least it's some kind of evidence
Well, there's plenty of
of the
evidence all this
deformity.
stuff's going on. It's just a matter of who's going to bring it, who, how to do anything with that shit. Everything's compartmentalized. I'm hearing
Yeah.
something in the microphone, some kind of energy.
Yeah, I don't appreciate how they're really they're twisting the aspect of my neck from the atlas point from the atlas. You can't really see the atlas, but there's a torsion that was just emphasized right now, and there my neck is not, it's in a tilt right now. You see the tilt?
Yeah, I hear
There's a
something
tilt.
hitting the microphone.
There's a tilt in my neck that I don't like, and it's caving in. It's caving in my airways. I can't breathe. Yeah, man. No, I be complaining about it so compulsively because it gets really intense when your lack of oxygen just becomes overtaken by your sense, and you have to really expose it, man. Um, there's already
Shit. What the? No, y'all heard that. What was that? Just told him he's gonna come back in. Disconnected. It's very strange. Well, there's a lot of target individuals out there, guys. You know, that's just one term for the people that are going through this kinds of stuff. Um, some people believe that this is an extension of the counterintelligence program, MK Ultra. But it really goes far before those things. This kind of stuff's been going on for probably thousands of years, like Egyptian times. Just in different forms, different ways. It's been you know heavily advanced since then. But you know there are tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, of TIs worldwide, and they speak out more and more every day. You can find them all over the internet, and you can usually tell the difference between who's schizophrenic, who's crazy, and who's an actual victim of this ongoing stuff. And you know one of the ways that I've noticed to be able to tell the difference is schizophrenics will experience things that don't really make sense, and TIs will experience things that do make sense, and it's very systematic. Gang stalking, uh, words and messages on license plates like "hi, buy, and die" one after the other, beeping, people following them around, which is gang stalking. Messages on the internet, people threatening them, threatening their family members. State of the art neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis, sleight of mouth tactics, weaponized psychological techniques, one line sentences for psychic driving, patterning, repatterning, pacing, and leading. Basically, verbal mind control techniques being used on them, dream manipulation, sexual trafficking going on, forced simulation, burning, directed energy weapons, just basically brain hacking from a distance. And you know, these are the types of people that, they have that systematic kind of effort, these evil things happening to them that are not just, senseless, weird hallucinations or, usually these people are not seeing things and hearing things that are not there. They're, a lot of them are hearing things, but, you know, as I said earlier, there is a playlist with over 600 different songs from different artists, all different artists. And this is just a small playlist, and just musical artists, voices in their heads in the title of the song, or demons in their head. And, this is a bit of a phenomenon, guys. This is, you know, I guess a paranormal investigation into these things that are not normal, they're paranormal, whether it be government doing this, or a shadow government, an elite, or demons, or, aliens, or, even just figments of people's own consciousness doing this to them, which doesn't really make sense. I think we disproved that one because, these state of the art techniques that are being used and things that are far outside of these people's, own selves and minds are happening to them, and in ways that they don't comprehend. So, like somebody that doesn't know how to play a piano is not going to be able to just play a piano. There's no part of their mind that has learned how to play a piano. So, this likewise, there's no part of these people's minds that knows state-of-the-art neurolinguistic programming and mind control techniques, hypnosis, and sleight of mouth tactics and weaponized psychology that CIA and you know experts and people know how to use that took years of training. So that's just one way to disprove that these things are coming from the victim's own minds, because they're too advanced or too sophisticated in their minds to even know what they are, never mind how they work. So that's just a form of evidence. So we got Levi back here. What happened?
Yeah, brother.
What happened, man?
My my battery had run out, so I had to turn it. I had to plug it in.
Oh, I was like so confused because I kept hearing like it sounded like something hitting the phone. It was like you sounded like a robot for a little bit, and then boom, done.
Yeah, They do a lot of interception of our electronic communications. They can intercept, they can mute out because they're perceiving our train of thought. So if there's something that they don't want us to hear, they can block the sound. They can freeze up the signal, so they'll limit our exposure.
But in this case, it was your battery. Was your battery charged before it, or was it already dying?
Yeah, yeah, no, they do a lot of interference of our awareness spectrum. Like if say I'm talking to you, they'll make if you have another phone. Like they do this a lot when I call the cops, and I'm sweetly describing everything how they're torturing me. Every single time I call the police, as they're gonna reach to a threshold of a response to help me, they'll be like, "Oh, excuse me, I got another call. Hold on a second for me," and then they'll leave me on that tip, on a pattern basis, like on like a manipulated basis.
Yeah, they do
So
that to all the targets because they just think they're mentally ill.
they'll distract. No, they'll distract they'll distract the spectrum of the awareness with just a ridiculously uh, distraction tactic. Say somebody else is calling. Hold on. Don't kill me. Hold on, type of shit. You know.
Yeah,
Don't kill the CIA. They're doing a distractive call to sidetrack your thought, and they could probably brainwash me from having a. You know, they can lower our energy fields, our motivation, our train of thought. They can dumb us out because this weapon controls our brains. It dominates it. And if you don't know about it, you can be human trafficked, sex trafficked, extorted, exploited without you knowing that you've been watched and surveilled and possibly uh, possessed. Maybe possessed too, possessed on a real aspect tip. Your body and brain's
seems
been
like that's
possessed by
the
the side.
ultimate goal there. Suicide or possession.
Yeah, and where does mental illness fall into this? Besides it being a damn well mind controlled satellite perspective of that you think it's a mental illness. No, it's a they can trickle your brain, they can decapitate, they can disable your brain. They don't it don't take mind control. It doesn't take that you have to stay strong. They can really disable your brain, basically put you in a paralyzed state. You can't even think. They can they can really put your energy field where you have no more energy. You have to lay down. Like when we got cut off and I stopped talking on the video shoot, they literally were still microwaving me really bad, making me feel isolated, making me feel a little bit depressed, hopeless. Hopeless is where they want me to stay. Hopelessly, and as I'm talking to you, they're as I say a word, emphasize a word, they literally just jerked my left shoulder so invasively, like there's a possession, like somebody's shoving my bone, shoving my body around, and there's nobody around me. It's the technology, man.
Yeah,
It's a possession. It's a broadcast possession where the system, the satellite, can detect even a booger crawling under your nasal cavity. They already know that it's there.
I'm
That's
wondering.
how.
I'm very curious to find out maybe how old is this technology? How long has this been going on? Because back in the day, they would call that demons. They would say that that's demons doing that. You can't see them because they're demons. They're beyond your visual spectrum. But I've heard, cases of, semi-possession when demons are in people's lives, they could be pushed, they could be scratched, they could be, beaten, they could, have all these, what you're describing, So I'm wondering how old this technology is, or, how long this has been going on, because, is there a demonic aspect to it, or is it just governmental, or, shadow governmental, elite? Is it, hypnosis, like, and, you were saying, if you don't know about this stuff, you could, fall victim to it. But the question that I have for anybody out there that does know about this stuff more than we do, how can knowing about it help you, and what should we know more? for people that are experiencing these kinds of things, like what should they know so that way they can actually defend themselves from this stuff? Because, that's the biggest question I get, and I don't have an answer for anybody for that. If
The funny
anybody
thing
does,
is,
please tell us.
the funny thing is, bro. There's an aspect that we have to see also that I would like to inquire on your awareness. They like to put us under so much torture, under so much hopelessness while they're experimenting, while they're using us as target practice, that they find it like they're playing a game on us, trying to seek help, and at the same time they feel like they have so much immunity and secrecy that there is no sense of help.
Yeah, and I noticed that they intentionally do things to people so that way when they talk about it, it sounds more crazy. Like they'll hire people to wear red shirts and follow them around, or maybe they'll have a drone over their head for a little bit, or have people walk up to them and spit in their direction, or just say certain words or sentences over and over again next to them. And this is what's called sensitization. um, and so that way, not only does that sound crazy when people talk about it, but it programs your mind to automatically associate when these things happen. If anyone's wearing a red shirt or a red hat, or somebody's beeping at you, somebody spits near you, or you see a drone, you automatically associate that with your targeting, and then so that way you constantly sound more and more crazy because of these things being usually coincidences, or not relating to you at all, but they know that, and that's why they do these sensitization operations. And it seems that most targets, that's how it starts. They'll hear their name in public repeated. People are following them around. They'll start having this gang stalking take place, where the sensitization's going on, and they'll start hearing threats, and people looking at them bad, and treating them bad, and repeating the same types of narratives around them, and coming up to them saying spooky things or threatening things to them, believing lies about them out of nowhere. The worst kind of lies. Rumors spread, their jobs are lost. People calling their bosses, saying rumors about them to their bosses, getting them to get fired, and it seems like those are the first steps of the targeting for most, if not all, targets that I've talked to. Those are the things that they've experienced.
Right.
But so if anybody's out there that you're questioning, your sanity, you're questioning, your safety. What I've noticed, aside from the long distance things and the dream manipulation, and things that people have said, have spoken to them, you know, nobody usually physically harms you, but they do it with directed energy, with telepathy, or whatever you want to call that, artificial synthetic sound, whatever, threats. You get to harm yourself. So although it is torture, it's persecution, demonic activity, satanic, evil, crimes against humanity. Um, they don't want you dead. 'Cause if they wanted you dead, you'd be dead. But unless they want you to get you to take your own life, it seems their main goal is total control, total control, and framing you to isolate you, keep people out of your life, keep them believing the worst things about you, so they support what's happening to you. They don't care about your torture because they think in some way you might deserve it. Or authorities out there that know more about you than they do, and they're doing it for some justifiable reason, when in fact that's not the case. Those so-called authorities that are not real authorities at all are the enemies of humanity and God, really. They're pure evil. They're classified as demons, terrorists, murderers, rapists, pedophiles, etc. And what they've been doing in an organized criminal fashion, an evil fashion, is out there. It's exposed. I mean, millions of people have been bored over countless decades. to reveal their own experiences, and even insiders that are government people, CIA, FBI, private security companies, Department of Defense, DARPA, have come forward and openly talked about how this is real, it's happening. They were taking part in doing it to people, and now because they've come forward, it's happening to them as well. So I mean, there's no question. Once you do your research, go down the rabbit hole, and listen to these people's testimonies and the government whistleblowers' testimonies, that these things are real. It's just it's carefully, systematically, you know, organized so that way when people speak about it, they sound insane, and that's just part of the program. Yeah, they
You,
want
you,
you to
you
sound
can't
crazy.
you can't ally with that train of thought. As being a targeted individual, you can't advocate that perception because that's what puts us at a defenseless, can't stand up for our rights type of matter. What we have to do is we have to spread the foundation that there's been already an establishment in the existence of these newer weapons, and it's a CIA cover up, and that's the point blank aspect of all of it. And everybody in humanity is prone to openly be mind controlled, and their decisions, emotions, and even their function of their organs can be systematically controlled dominantly to completely take you out of the control of your own body.
Yeah,
And this is the invasive effective power that results from these satellites
yeah.
that
Everybody's
shoot
got a brain.
cable.
Everybody's got a mind. So what they can do to one person, they can do to anybody else. And I think, should be a warning and a message to, all those that are private security contractors still involved in these kinds of, operations in our government, whoever they may be, our military industrial complex. Just because they say somebody's a threat to national security, a terrorist, a rapist, a pedophile, whatever they can lie and say about these people, oh, we got to do it before Russians do it. So let's do it on the Russian citizens. Let's have these Nazi concentration camps. Let's do mind control in the concentration camps, which they did do. And they also put fluoride in the water. Let's do all this stuff before the other nation does it. We got to fight terrorism, man. So, let's build these weapons. Let's build the nuclear bomb before they get a nuclear bomb. But in this kind of stuff, it's not the same thing. Now you're researching and developing mind control, torture, long distance stuff, psychological warfare, spiritual warfare. And so now you put yourself at risk. You put everyone at risk at the same time because these very techniques and technologies aren't just going to be used on a specific, demographic of people. It can be used on anybody, anytime. And, go on the black market, get taken by foreign nations, get taken by secret societies, get taken by, hate groups, extremist groups, you name it. And, who's going to stop them? When they're targeting you and your children and your family members, or, they've got AI or some kind of sophisticated technology beyond, manually doing it to individuals. And now they can, do it to entire vast populations or groups of people. You really, you think you're doing one good thing, but, there's always the other side of it. It really is.
Yeah, it's basically the ultimate weapon of mass destruction.
It is. It is a weapon of mass destruction.
If not, it could be considered it.
And it's not
But
even
it
like even Elon Musk, he said AI is more of a threat than all the world of nukes. This is more of a threat because it includes AI and for the worst
I,
possible things like
I, I
Elon
got
Musk was saying. I
I
mean,
got a suspicion that those wildfires in California. I actually have testimonies on on the internet documenting video evidence that it's satellites causing the wildfires.
oh yeah, they can do
Um,
that. They can easily beam. They got directed energy, start a fire easily.
exactly.
Yeah,
They have a frequency, electromagnetic frequency where they can amplify the fire. They can make it bigger with just a frequency.
it's basically like a laser
True.
beam.
Yeah, they can they can make
Dr.
your
Evil.
temperature in they can make the temperature in your house get cold, like there's a sudden breeze going through the air, and the satellite does that too. It's not only taking care of controlling and dominating your body so invasively, alongside with the torture and all that crap. they can also influence the environment. They can put like a cold temperature. It's so connected where they can also put the climate control aspect down to your selective room, and it's a temperature that's really cold
Yeah.
or really hot. And in the winter times, I used to suffer from overheating sometimes, or over feeling too frequent to be cold. And this is the side that we're facing to spread awareness. We have to face the fact that not only does it control our bodies, but it's also controlling the environment, the world.
Yeah, I want to touch on something. I just gotta, use the bathroom real quick, but you got the floor, man. You gotta talk to the people, and I'll be right back.
All right. CIA are a bunch of known to be rapists that use satellite to hijack your brain and your body while you're unaware. Most of the victims are unaware that the technology is real. Cervical electromagnetic abuse, deformation disc by disc can be manipulated for torture out of a victim. Who's going to take responsibility to end the torture weapons being used inhumanely on civilians? We can't just be getting sick and abused every day and the rest of the US government playing like they can't see it or that we don't see it from being covered. There's links on YouTube that I've posted disclosing evidence of tyranny within the CIA and the other DOD and the side, but it's mainly primarily CIA, and how they're running a satellite technology on a TI where they can target your muscles and your bones, compress your bones into bulges, cramp your muscles. They also can cramp your airways, suck it in where you can't even breathe, and at the same time, they can kill you with these invasive technologies that can hijack your body so dominantly. And I'm a TI. I'm a TI. I want to help us build a network connecting true TIs for an awareness and advocacy for the rest of the TIs. And I have a group on Facebook where they can join.
Do you want to later on when we do the description of this video, do you want to put your links in the description for people, your profile and everything else?
Yeah, Facebook, CIA evidence. Um, I have a YouTube channel. Is there a way to input a text through here?
Yeah. Just go right in the
All right,
chat, hit the chat button right next to
all
it's
right,
on the right of the hand.
yeah. I'm gonna put it right now, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Um. All right. It's just so that's the main link for my YouTube channel.
Yeah, it looks like youtube.com/at CIA Dirty Business.
Yeah, that's the name I put.
Cool. Do you want to you want to give your full name or you want to just keep it Levi?
Yeah, just keep it Levi. Documentation of how the CIA is prone to wanting to delete evidence, um, to cover up their weapons. Uh, and that's it, man.
Alrighty. Well, I'll
I'm
thank
gonna I'm
you.
gonna share. I'm gonna share also my Facebook. I got a Facebook group.
Alright.
I got a Facebook group, so you can share it. We can share it like via this conversation. Can get we can use these two links. Did you get it?
Yep, I got it on the screen for everybody.
All right. So that's the two links that I'm using on a platform of YouTube and Facebook to disclose the documentation of how the CIA is torturing me, how we have a foundation of targeted individuals who do not consent to human experimentation and torture and abuse, um, for the sake of their evil ways, their rituals and stuff like that, sacrifices. And well, we have to find a way that these people get some kind of responsible authorization where there is none of that, like enough of that.
I just want to mention one thing before we end the video. And you could definitely bring your input into this because I don't know if you've heard about this, but apparently there's something called nanotechnology, nano particulate sensors, and apparently it's been sprayed in the air, and we've been breathing it in. And these nano sensors apparently, you know, they work together through like some kind of sophisticated computer system. I don't know if it's a quantum computer, supercomputer, but it uses them like how your body, your skin has nerves and like senses stuff, right? And your eyes, all this electromagnetic stuff is how your eyes work or whatever, and your hearing. But apparently these sensors can like sense everything. It's kind of like in the Batman movie where they used the cell phones for sonar and they were able to see and hear, through everybody's cell phone. But apparently these, little nano sensor things that are everywhere allow them to have like some basic, virtual reality simulation of real reality, and it gives them the ability to like monitor, record, and I guess in some way with either just that technology or other technology with it, influence, read your mind, influence your mind, your brain, whatever, and basically hack into your brain and use your eyes as cameras, your ears as microphones, and everyone around you, and interfere with your technology, and I guess like you know the the possibilities are endless with this stuff, but it gives them like godlike power over reality. I don't know how true this is, but I've seen quite a bit of research about, and I've also heard government people, military people, Department of Defense people, speaking out about this kind of technology being out there, being used. So do you know anything about this nanotech, this simulation stuff?
Yeah, I heard about it. I heard about it. Um,
It's definitely out there.
Nanotech. Yeah, I wonder what that has to do with satellite electromagnetic spectrum control. I think that nanotechnology is another side of technology that can control the human body. But ultimately, the satellite has mastered the whole thing of dominating and controlling everything systematically, like a matrix, like a video game. They can just tap their brains and just do things to the world and see everybody. They can spy on everybody, man. They love to devour women with their technology. They love to spy on them. They love to devour them. Like they're being subconsciously controlled and to persuade things to program you. But it kind of seems a little weird, bro, because I know what they're doing to them, but those people don't know that they're undergoing mind control.
Yeah. Well, people don't want to believe it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but it
hard
does
when you don't
exist.
have the evidence to, listen to
Is
something
the
that sounds so far-fetched and unbelievable. But it does make sense, though. Satellites, they're used for phones, they're used for internet, for computers. Governments use satellites, to get better connection instead of using regular phone towers. And AI, could monitor through these senses or sensors or whatever, and satellites, whatever, all working together to, you know, pinpoint, certain thought processes, certain emotions, certain, things that, that they program the AI to, monitor for. Let's say somebody says something like, "I got a nuclear weapon," or something like that. You know what I mean? And the AI would pick that up, and then it would help to defend us from, bad guys that, might be talking about it or thinking about, having nuclear weapons to, defend national security, everybody's life. But I mean, obviously,
and then and
it
then
could be used for
and then
evil too.
how schemy was the CIA to misinform the general public because they do misinformation to cover up their programs of torture and stuff
Yeah.
to blame it on aliens. They said that those drones up in there that were turning into planes and those drones those were alien invasions. How far did they go with that lie? Not too far.
I don't know.
What do you think?
Because
Do you
I
think? Do
find
you?
it interesting that they denied the existence of extraterrestrials for so long, and even so-called snuffed people out, aka unalived them, for even seeing or knowing too much about them. But then had a government disclosure publicly, telling everybody, yeah, they are real, and we've been working with them and all this other stuff. So it's just kind of interesting, and there's still people out there that call you crazy for even saying that about aliens or extraterrestrials, even though I mean it's been publicly disclosed now on a governmental scale, and through the news media and stuff like that. And it's kind of peculiar that you know they only did it so many times, and then it was went silent.
Mm.
Nobody talked about it anymore. I mean that is groundbreaking. I mean, can you imagine the government coming forward and saying, and news media people saying, all right, here's the official disclosure, there are extraterrestrials. I mean, people waited for that for lifetimes, and then it just goes silent and nobody talks about it anymore. And I'm
The
not big into
government
the
is.
extraterrestrial stuff,
It
but
seems.
I mean, come on, for those that
It's.
are,
I mean, I want to investigate right now to see how far I can get finding that stuff out. But the government has always been covering up, and the people who's really caused the responsible cover up is the CIA because everyone's subconsciously mind controlled.
yeah. I think it goes beyond the
Uh,
CIA, man. I think the
I've
CIA
heard,
control too.
yeah, I've heard that they have. If there was to consider any existence, they they made up some kind of acknowledgement that there's alien bunkers in the ocean and stuff, and that the UFOs and the drones come out of it. I think that's not. I don't even think that's true, man.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it was true.
Yeah.
But,
The satellites people right now who are doing lawsuits against the torture and the invasion of our brain neurological weapons. I think a guy named Todd Callender. Todd Callender is doing a lawsuit for the 5G spectrum of abuse, but then he is not fighting against the satellites. The government has a secret satellite program where they can torture and communicate with the whole world and spy on everything and manipulate everything. So there's been there's a private investigator called Ryan Cognitive Investigative Services, and he's a private investigator. He disappeared. Like he's trying to spread awareness. He disappeared. Probably got induced a direct energy weapon, and everybody's induced some kind of way to be shut down from exposing or doing something or having a foundation where people can join together and fight this thing. Only people we have right now is
shit, what happened? Oh no. Sorry about that, everybody.
fire flowing under normal ways.
Sorry about that.
So, so they make you feel like it's just it's real it's wrong. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, man, everything's all messed up. I don't even get why people would even take part in these kinds of things. You have to be, back in the day they'd say you must be possessed by demons to be doing this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Or, this goes beyond the Nazis. I mean, the things that Nazis did that everybody hated them for. I mean, this is so far beyond the Nazis. I mean, come on. This is the next levels beyond Nazi Germany. This is like now the whole country, the whole world is a secret. Certain people are in concentration camps in their own homes. You know, It's ridiculous, man. It's like how many people are secretly in a concentration camp in their own mind, in their own head, and in their own home, you know, because of this. That's really what it is. It's worse. Because in the concentration camp, they had each other. They had their family members. They had all this stuff. They were looking forward to death, probably some of them. You know, but with this, it's just like they isolate you. They make you crazy to everybody. I mean, in the concentration camps, they know you ain't crazy. They know what's going on. They see it right there. It's happening to them with you. You know, they're running from the Nazis. They don't want to end up in a concentration camp too with you. But here, it's like, what concentration camp? What torture? What are you talking about? It's all in your head, man. That's not real. There's nobody trafficking you. There's nobody raping you. There's nobody mind controlling you. There's nobody following you around. There's none of that. Yeah, you need some help. You need to get some meds. It's worse, man. I think it's worse than the Nazi Germany.
Yeah, you taking it far back now. I mean, I think it's according to Richard Lighthouse, it's saying the CIA is coming from Denver and it's running a psyops of mind control Nazis, like where it's a white supremacy above all in the world, and the U.S. government controls the whole entire world through the CIA's satellite.
That's crazy, man. It's crazy. Well,
Yeah,
back in I said earlier in the video when you got cut off when your phone died that they were doing this in the concentration camps. They had mind control. That's where Operation Paperclip came from. MK Ultra, the people that did MK Ultra, all the mind control experiments in all those hospitals and those group homes on the kids and all these government agents. Those are Nazi scientists from Germany. They had Operation Paperclip that brought them over here into the CIA and used them for those experiments. So, and they put
yeah,
fluoride in the water to dumb everybody down in those concentration camps. And what are they doing now? Put fluoride in your bottled water too. Never mind your tap water, your toothpaste, your mouthwash. I mean, it's literally the whole country is a covert concentration camp.
yeah.
It's just they're more slick about doing it. They're a lot more secretive, and
Do
it's not
you
a throw you in a gas chamber. It's here. Let me pump this into your food. Let me work you to
do you
death.
get
Let me,
do you get voices? Do you get voice to skull?
I get that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, that's them.
yeah. It's neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis, sleight of mouth tactics, weaponized psychology. It's not just random, talking. It's sophisticated, state of the art mind control techniques.
And I got a little black circle dot on the left eye that is literally marked in my eye. It pops up and disappears and it pops up. But when I read or when I have a strong perception, it's being dominated by that little circle that's taming my perception in my left, and I'm forced to look at it and follow it. So they have some kind of control of my left eye, and they see through my eyes.
I noticed that a lot of victims have a droopy left eye too. So a lot of celebrities have it too. It's called left eye ptosis. And I have a theory that that's because of the trauma and the abuse. It like shuts down part of your brain or something. But I
Yeah,
haven't been able to prove
so
that theory yet.
so many ways to do it. Yeah,
A lot of the stuff too is they try to program multiple personality disorder into victims, artificially induced schizophrenia, all these types of mental illnesses, OCD, anything they can verbally, hypnotically, slowly program that into you. They can replace your whole personality slowly over time. That's how they make sleeper agents. Spies, assassins, and stuff for the CIA, MI6. They take them, put them in a room, torture them, for so long. They'll wipe their whole mind. They'll wipe their identity, and then they'll program them to have a new identity. And then, they could do this secretly. That's what a sleeper agent would be instead of just directly wiping their mind. They would slowly, they use fear and trauma, satanic ritual abuse, to get you to dissociate from reality, you withdraw, and then they start drilling you with mind control programming, And I have evidence of how they did this to one woman, and they were trafficking her. Her name wasn't given in the comment on this forum, but we have a special post. I'm gonna share it with you all real quick. Um,
I,
are you still there? It's tcti.proboards.com, and then you scroll down. You go down to experiences and observations, and then you click share what you hear here, and then you could see if you search her the name that they were programming her with, this multiple personality, it's named Lyra. And if you type in Lyra search on page, you'll see Lyra, 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 Lyra. Nobody raped you. I raped you. You don't remember. You didn't like it. You will get no tingling. We're not going to tingle you. Why do you like Freddy? That's what I call it when they move my body. Lyra, Lyra, look in the mirror, see a little clearer. So this is, stuff in quotes that she was hearing repeated hundreds or thousands of times, brainwashed into her head from a distance. So, they were basically programming a new identity into this woman. And they would do so by repeating these one-liner hypnotic neurolinguistic programming sentences like Lyra, Lyra, look in the mirror, see a little clearer. So every time she look in the mirror is now a trigger, so that way when she looks in the mirror she sees herself or another personality inside of her as Lyra. Basically every time she looks in the mirror she's creating Lyra or growing Lyra more and more. And then, they would say, why do you like Freddy? Like a John, like a rapist John, Freddy. And she said, that's what I call it when they move my body. So she associated the word Freddy to mean when, somebody moves her body against her will, right? So they said, why do you like Freddy? Over and over and over again to make her mind associate her to think that she likes when they do it. And then they said, you're not Lyra, there is no Lyra. They always call me Lyra, and that is not my name, she said. So this is more evidence that they're programming this multiple personality disorder, or what they would call in the CIA, a beta sex kitten. And this is, how they create sleeper agents. This is how they create Manchurian candidates, school shooters. And as you can see here, Monarch programs sex slaves. And I know that they can, they've been doing this to, female celebrities and male celebrities for quite some time, where they have, handlers. But, they're saying, you're not Lyra, there is no Lyra, right? So they're basically, that's how they compartmentalize the identity so that her mind knows it's not her that's Lyra, it's the other secret identity inside of her mind that they can trigger and activate at any time and make her become Lyra. And then she doesn't remember. You have no personality. We gave you feelings. You have no emotions. So they said you have feelings, but you don't have emotions because they wanted to feel, sexual desire and feel, being raped, but they don't want her to have emotions about it. So they kept repeating that into her head over and over again. So it's really sick, man, what they were doing.
a lot of collection of
They say,
data
hey,
through
hey,
the experimentation of violation of our human rights and constitutional rights. Um, how to program us, how to mind control us, to destroy ourselves, our sanity on the targeted victims. And if that wasn't enough, they're doing the slow kill programs where microwave radiation is really, really pertaining our body. And there's no sense of help yet. And I want them to be exposed enough in the government where these microwave torture programs end as quick as possible because I can't live a normal life
well, people
without
need to
them.
know that this isn't just happening or can't just happen to target individuals. Can happen to anybody. Your kids, let's say your daughter is the next Lyra. You know what I mean? And then all they need to do is make one phone call or send her a text message or just say something into her head from a distance, and now she's a Monarch program sex slave who lets somebody inside the house to have sex with her. You know what I mean? Because that's what they do. Or they go into the dream, and now your dream is a simulation with technology, and they can, experience the senses and make you experience the senses of, being trafficked in your sleep at night in your own home. And that's what most of these female targets are experiencing. I can't tell you how many TI
Yes.
women have come forward and given their testimonies and say they go to sleep at night and now they're in a hotel room having sex with a stranger. Or these slick fuckers come in there and they take the form of their boyfriend or their husband or their crush, and to get their defenses down, and then they have sex with them in their simulation fake dream nightmare, and they think they're having sex in real life with their partner. And those are some of the techniques, the tricks that they use. So if people could just
Exactly.
see the seriousness, the real threat here, they would see that it's not just people hearing voices in their head or getting, thinking they're getting stalked around. They're not just paranoid. They're actual victims of human trafficking, mind control, murder, genocide, torture, you name it. That this isn't just one little thing. This is the big thing. This is the big picture and all the little details. It's insane, man. That's why it sounds insane, because it's insane what's happening. So it can't not sound crazy, because it is crazy, but it's happening.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I think we should just leave it at that. And if you want to get another testimony going another time, we can definitely do that. I try to keep them under, usually under an hour, but it's been an hour 51 minutes here.
We
Um,
should we should just conclude the fact that we're trying to spread awareness on the CIA's torture illegal program, inhumane experimentation gone too far and beyond an ethical and moral aspect of a good government. So it needs to be handled, and they need to end the microwave, the dues, the electromagnetic assaults, that they need to be exposed, where the FBI is not helping to comply, to not even acknowledge our severity of our of the safety, that it's this lack of support to protect our safety and our rights in a lawfully manner. So we need to have that exposed through this video, and try to eventually help. The program needs to be ended.
yeah. Well, like Robert Duncan said, it's, these are people that are not necessarily in, parts of our government doing this as well, and they, nobody knows who they are, and it's, you know, so it's very difficult to, pinpoint any individual group or department or, aspect of our government as who's involved in this. And obviously, the good agents don't want to go down for it. So it's just really important to, you know, do the proper research and, figure out what we can about, who may be doing this or what. And, because I don't consider them human beings at this point, but even if they are, and you know just what we can do to, shine some light on them, and get them caught on a worldwide scale, so that, maybe they'll fall back a little bit or just stop completely, because it's real serious. I would imagine these people probably get off on it, so they don't really care too much about, people knowing what they're doing. But I would imagine also that if the whole world knew what they were doing and knew who they were doing it, then things would change a little bit. So hopefully
Yeah.
we can help to make that happen.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you, Levi, for coming on here, and on behalf of everybody else, thank you very much for everything
I
you shared. And
I want to let you know that the whole time, before you called me, they had me on a severe brainwave manipulation, where I was being seduced into a very, 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 very tired, sleepy state. And they even added the bone, clavicle bone, indenting my breathways and the airways being suffocated. Then they backed off on the whole severity when we talked in the earlier conversation. And as we've been talking, they've been having me dumbed out, like I'm dying of some kind of microwave torture, and it's ongoing, sir. They put all these sleep tired out frequencies It's gonna be documented very clearly on here that they're they're too bad, too invasively manipulating my brain to feel tired under a stage of hypnosis manipulation, where it's a certain brainwave frequency that's orienting my brain to get all these symptoms, and they make me tired. They make me feel like they're cooking me. They make me feel like my whole body is being scraped or something, and something is not good, and very concentrated, very concentrated torture in the neck, in the cervical area, as I said earlier. The bones and the airways completely, completely indented all the way by manipulation of a satellite, where it's forming a very sense of illness. Like you can't breathe. You know, you need your oxygen, and you need that muscle cramp that they're completely controlling on a mass scale. Like a whole region of the upper respiratory muscles are being caved in. The muscles, and as I can't breathe, they're inducing a inflation of pressure in my brain that it hurts, man. And they're doing this all day long. How do you think I can get some help? By filing some kind of lawsuit and taking maybe this video to the judge's attention. You know, we gotta do some kind of evidence supporting documentation all the time,
Yeah,
like we just did, like we just did. So I'll share this video on Facebook if you send me the link, bro. And
I,
thanks for everyone.
I
Thanks
definitely will.
everyone at the same time for watching.
Yeah, we'll definitely do another
CIA,
one if you're up for it.
CIA consented to this. CIA is the one torturing, so it's all being documented.
Well, thank you, Levi. Thank you, everybody that's coming here that watched this video, listened, and shared it. And as I said, if you have a testimony you'd like to give, you can go to this link right
Okay.
here.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
you're the first person I did a documentary, bro. And there's a lady called Melby Cosby, and she's also wanted me to do a interview, bro. I didn't do it because they disabled me from actually being able to do a video, because like they that's what the beginning of the neck, they started to really increase it so bad where I can't even breathe. It had a temp drain my energy from the suffocation. So been they haven't backed off. It's really bad. The neck manipulation. It's a strangulation. It's a way to take my energy, drain it out, and just keep me under. They add microwave torture to my entire body as I can't breathe, and they have me under that terms all day long, every day, man. So we need to end the torture program, and that's it, bro. You have a good day. Thank you for
you too,
sharing with
man.
me,
Thank you.
and taking the time to take my testimony, and taking the time to get a little interview here for the people to be have an advocacy and support uh, within our targeted individual community.
Absolutely. I'm gonna upload it right now as soon as I get off, and I'll send you the link. Anything that you'd like to be put into the description, any links, anything like that, just send them to me, and I'll put it right in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, brother. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We'll
All right.
talk soon.
Okay.